History remembers powerful armies, massive empires, fearless warriors, but sometimes true power does not come from numbers. It comes from structure, from unity, from leadership. More than 2,000 years ago, one army changed the way wars were fought, not because they were the largest, but because they were the most organized. This was not just an army. This was a system. This was discipline in motion. This was the army of Alexander the Great. Alexander was not just a king. He was a commander who fought alongside his soldiers. He did not lead from behind. He led from the front. He rode into battle. He faced the same dangers. He shared the same risks. And because of that, his soldiers did not just follow him, they believed in him. From a young age, he was trained in warfare, strategy, and leadership. He was taught by great minds. He studied history. He understood both strength and intelligence. But what made him different was not just his skill, it was his vision. He believed that discipline and unity could defeat even the largest armies, and he proved it. But belief alone was not enough. Alexander understood something deeper. An army is only as strong as the system behind it. He knew that discipline must be trained, not once, not occasionally, but every single day. His soldiers did not just prepare for battle, they prepared for precision. Every movement was repeated, every formation was practiced, until even under pressure, their bodies moved without hesitation. Because when training becomes instinct, fear loses its power, and hesitation disappears. At the heart of Alexander's army was a powerful system. The Phalanx formation, rows of soldiers, standing shoulder to shoulder, each one holding a long spear, called a sarissa. These spears were longer than those used by most armies. When the Phalanx moved forward, it became a wall of sharp steel, layer after layer of spear points, facing the enemy, impossible to break, difficult to approach, terrifying to face. Enemies could not easily get close, and even if they tried, they were met with a forest of blades. But the Phalanx was not just about weapons. It required perfect discipline. Every soldier had to move together. Every step had to be synchronized. Every movement had to be controlled. Because in this formation, one mistake could destroy everything. If one soldier stepped out of line, a gap would open. And that gap could lead to defeat. But they did not break, because they trained constantly, day after day, week after week, year after year. They practiced until movement became instinct. They trusted each other completely. They understood that they were not fighting alone. They were part of something greater, a system that depended on unity. Alexander did not rely on one tactic alone. He understood the battlefield as a complete system. While the Phalanx held the enemy in place, his cavalry moved with speed and precision. They attacked from the sides. They struck at weak points. They created confusion. This combination of strong defense, fast, intelligent attack made his army extremely effective. Alexander did not simply react, he anticipated. He studied terrain. He observed his enemies. He adapted his strategy. He did not fight harder, he fought smarter. But strategy alone does not win wars. Trust does. Alexander's soldiers trusted him completely because he stood beside them, because he shared their risks, and because he never asked them to do what he would not do himself. This created something rare, an army that did not just follow orders, but believed in its leader. And when belief and discipline come together, an army becomes more than a force. It becomes unstoppable. With this system, Alexander achieved something extraordinary. He led his army across continents, through mountains, across deserts, into unknown lands. From Greece to Egypt to Persia and beyond. He faced armies larger than his own, stronger in number, but they still won, again and again, because discipline defeats chaos, because unity defeats fear, and because leadership inspires action. Alexander's army teaches us something powerful. Success is not always about strength, it is about structure. It is about preparation. It is about discipline under pressure. The strongest individual can still fail, but a disciplined system rarely does. When people move together with a shared purpose, they become something greater. They become unstoppable. And this idea goes beyond the battlefield. In every part of life, the same rule applies. Those who rely only on motivation often lose direction, but those who build systems, who stay disciplined, who repeat the right actions every day, eventually separate themselves from the rest. Because success is not an event, it is a process built on structure, consistency, and focus. And history continues to prove this idea. Great achievements are never sudden. They are built quietly, through discipline, through repetition, through patience. Long before success becomes visible, the work is already done. And those who understand this gain an advantage that others cannot see. Because while others wait for motivation, they rely on structure. While others chase results, they build systems. And over time, that difference changes everything. Because in the end, the greatest victories are invisible at first. They are built in silence, in discipline, in daily effort. And by the time the world notices, the result already feels unstoppable. That is the true power of a system. 9'll add, small extension for 8 men. And this is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Not talent, not luck, but discipline repeated over time. The same principle that once built empires still builds success today. The world has changed. Battles look different now, but the lessons remain the same. Discipline still builds strength. Unity still creates power. Strategy still wins battles. And leadership still shapes the future. Those who understand structure, who stay consistent, and who trust the process often achieve what others believe is impossible, just as Alexander once did. If this warrior lesson strengthened your mindset, a like, a share, or a subscribe might just be your modern way of honoring discipline in a distracted world.